Wait.
Well, hello there. It's Geeks Assembled again, and today myself and Susan are discussing a nine-part miniseries uh, from the House of Marvel and Disney Plus. This is a sort of spin-off series from WandaVision, which happened a couple of years ago, and this is Agatha All Along. Um, of course, starring Catherine Hahn as Agatha Harkness, the villain from One Division has now got her own series. So we'll go over to Susan for your thoughts on Agatha All Along.
All right. Well, I'm wearing this Agatha All Along shirt, and I really like Agatha. I think that WandaVision was so cool, so sort of like timey-wimey, but Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, she is OP. She's overpowered. Agatha, on the other hand, has is a much more, actually more nuanced, more uh, lower powered character than Wanda was, and this had this series had 9 episodes in it, and it started off really. It started off as a look at Agatha um, as she well, before before the whole thing got turned around. She was a detective, and she was working on these murder, and she figures out, the song and the witchcraft again. And I mean, not only was reality reset when Wanda set up Westview, but it was also reset afterward when Ultron, when Ultron got, he pushed his way out, and that in
Oh,
some ways
Vision.
Vision, yeah, Vision. Sorry, I like there's so many characters. Okay, I sometimes have trouble. Anyway, Vision, of course, Vision, but when he pushed his way out, and then like she had to reset like for her kids and stuff, and then one of her kids ended up with her, and the other one kind of disappeared and ended up in this terrible situation. Um, and the one that was in the terrible situation ends up with Agatha
Mhm.
after the reboot, after the reset, and Agatha finds him in the wake of this murder, and somehow she is she finds herself running low on power, so she sets up a coven circle, and she pulls a lot of people in, and uh they ended up showing that they were actually powerful later on, but these usually she just steal their magic, but in this case they with with the teen. as he's known for like the first three movies or three, sorry, TV shows, episodes. That's the word. You'll see him try to you know try to try to figure out where he fits in the world, and they don't let you know till the end that he's actually created this whole world just like his mom, because he
Mm.
actually is uh Wanda and Vision's actual son. And there's just a lot of uh stuff, and there's the song, and there's the road, and there's the road trip amongst witches, and all it was sort of like a challenge a day kind of thing. That was the way it was kind of formulated, but it wasn't formulaic, because like these things were plenty of Jeopardy. It was very much sort of a travel, a road trip movie,
Hmm.
a road trip show. By the way, it's very cinematic. Okay, let me just put it that to you this way: this show is very cinematic. The elements are cinematic, and the dialogue is cinematic, and the so I'm sorry, I just keep calling it a movie because that's the way it feels and looks in my head. Anyway, I enjoyed it a lot. Over to you, Lee. What's your opening
Well,
thoughts?
uh, after I enjoyed One Division,
Mm-hmm.
and Agatha was trapped. The Scarlet Witch had trapped Agatha at the end of that. Um, living a fantasy life, powerless. She didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize. No, she thought she was a policewoman.
Uh-huh.
Um, but she wasn't. She was just imagining it all. As I say, it took the teen to sort of open her eyes to the real world, to break Scarlet Witch's spell over her.
Uh-huh.
Which that was a great start to the show. Um, and then to discover that one of Scarlet Witch's sons' spirit had escaped and got into William's body just as he had that car accident. So he'd possessed the young teen's body, and this is why he was having strange flashbacks, and so he was slowly becoming um, Billy Maximoff.
He
Which,
was. It
yeah,
wasn't. It wasn't that he was becoming. It was that he was.
well,
Right, Lee?
he wasn't to begin with. He was William Kaplan who had that accident, and while he was in that state, unconscious state, the the town was, because say it's all connected to one division. Billy Maximoff's soul or whatever escaped that, you know, and sort of gone into that young guy. So he was a mixture of both, William and Billy. Um,
Right.
and he didn't know what was going on, but he knew to seek out Agatha Harkness. About he wanted to find the road, the witch's road,
Right.
because which turns out, if nobody's seen it, spoilers, turns out it was all a con, the witch's road. Agatha's.
It was to begin with, but because Billy, this is why I don't agree with you. Billy was there at the beginning, and he opened the road, and he created another realm.
No, Billy wasn't. Billy wasn't there at the beginning until that he had that accident. That's because when he woke up, he could hear people's thoughts, because that's when Billy had gone into that young guy's body.
Huh.
He had he had escaped. He had escaped from what was happening in the town. Just at that vital moment. And he was in search of his twin brother, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And so that's when Billy was taking over William. That's why he was,
Oh.
the witch. He, yeah, the witch's road was a con from Agatha all through the years, just to steal the witch's powers every time. There was no such thing as a
Right.
witch. There was no such thing as a witch's road until Billy created it
That's what I was saying. That's
unknowingly
what I was
created.
saying.
Yeah,
Lee,
but
that is exactly my point.
yeah,
You just argued my point for me.
but Billy wasn't always there. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But instead, to the con was to get a coven of witches together to open the witches' road. Of course,
Oh,
Agatha always you just used to kill them by stealing all the powers, and she was taken by
right.
surprise. She was taken by surprise when the bloody road appeared.
And
And
when it happened in her own pentagram, like she
yeah,
created a pentagram.
and and then as you say, they go on a road trip or a quest, and this is where when I was watching it, I was getting the feeling of the Wizard of Oz. Follow the
Oh,
road, follow the road, and then you get all these trials, and each trial was a different trial. But I was still getting Wizard of Oz because of the Green Witch and the shoes.
yeah,
And so I'm thinking, well, this is sort of, and then it was all explained in the later episode. It was William all along, not Agatha,
uh-huh,
that created everything in it unconsciously, I suppose, with his mind, the road, the tasks, because he's looking around his bedroom, you see it all. You see the Wizard of Oz play set, you see all that lot, and then he realizes it was him who created it. I thought that was a great twist.
yeah,
Um, and for me, the series did lose a bit. I mean, 9 episodes was an odd number, and
yeah,
what watching it after the eighth episode, I thought, that's it. It's a good final. Agatha has died. She's laid to rest, and then episode 9 turns up, and I'm thinking, what's all this about? It felt like this episode 9 was an add on an afterthought, to be honest.
it was there to tie something else to
Yeah,
later.
I mean, the series could have ended at episode 8.
Yeah, it really could have.
Yeah, it was like episode 9 was like an appendix, where you just it's an add-on. Um,
Yeah, it
and I
was
mean, I always
something. It was an anchor
yeah,
for another series.
yeah. It was mostly the mostly watched the executives had watched it and thought, we need something else here, and it was an afterthought adding that extra episode, I think. But
Huh.
I always remember when I was younger reading the comics and Agatha Harkness being in them as an old grey-haired woman, and all along in the
Oh,
series, Catherine Hahn wasn't an old grey-haired woman in it, was she?
Crone
She
at
was
all.
no, but Agatha,
She started off as the maiden,
yeah,
and then she was the mother.
yeah.
She never made it to the crone part yet.
But I mean, in the comics, I vaguely remember Agatha Harkness wearing purple and long grey, or her hair up, long grey hair,
Oh,
which we got that at the end of the series, when she comes back as the
yeah.
spirit. That was exactly like the comic
Oh,
of
okay.
with the long grey hair. Um, but I've got to say, Catherine Han or Han, whatever how you pronounce it,
Han.
great,
Perfect.
great performance in this. Um, if I had my choice, I would put her forward for Doctor Who to play Doctor Who.
But
Are you
she's
there?
American.
So what?
But she, so what? She's American. Doctor Who's British,
So what?
quintessentially British.
So what? We've had Scottish actors.
Uh, America's a lot weirder than Scotland, though, mate.
I'm saying her performance in that, I would put her forward for the
Okay,
role.
okay, okay. I'm gonna smile because I do like what you're saying about Catherine Hahn and the
Yeah.
fact that she started at like Saturday Night Live and
Hmm.
there's like I mean her comic chops are huge.
Yeah.
You know, much like Pertwee or McCoy or what anybody like there are a few that had like these massive comic upbringings before they went
I don't,
into
I
the
don't, I
part.
don't, I don't really care what nationality these actors are, as long as they can put in a good performance. I'm sold on that. Um,
Okay.
and then you've also with the Joe Locke playing playing the teen.
Billy.
Yeah, great actor. I mean, he's superb in Heartstopper.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was beautiful.
yeah, I mean, they're nearly on to season 4 now. We'll have to catch up on that one.
Okay. I'm sorry that I don't know where they're playing it. Where is it playing?
It's on Netflix. Um,
I know. Okay, we'll find it. And then there was Sashir Zamata as Jennifer, and
mhm.
Ali An as Alice, and Patty fucking Lupone. Holy shit. Like the queen of Broadway as Lilia Calderu. Oh my God, that was just amazing. And
she
Deborah
was
Jo Rupp.
she was yeah, as Lilia, wasn't she? She was very, very good.
Oh my
Um,
God, she was amazing.
and then you even get a cameo from Evan Peters in this, which he appeared in one division and he was back in this. I mean, everybody knows Evan Peters from the American Horror Story series, and
Yeah.
it's great to just have him back for an episode. But
As yeah.
but the standout, I mean, the acting was amazing. It was just for me, it sort of lost it for me because it got a bit repetitive with nearly several episodes. It was it's another task. It's another task. I'm thinking, well, yeah, you've just had a full more task, but you're going on to another task. But what really stood out for me was the song was amazing. The Witch's Road, the performance on
Yeah.
that, down the Witch's Road. Now that's very Disney.
And it's
That
catchy. It's
yeah, it was.
catchy as hell.
I was yeah. I ended up like humming it in my head, and I thought this is very
Oh,
Disney. They've done another one because Disney are good at doing great songs.
oh my
Um,
God, so good.
and the performance in that episode where they're all stood in the circle doing it,
Uh-huh.
just amazing. Um, it's a fun show.
And
And he
and Catherine, like not only comic genius, but like in this, there were so many moments of real empathy and
mhm,
sadness and like physically challenged. Like she was able to do some fighting, running. She was just she the series really made Catherine Hahn's uh, uh, repertoire huge. I just loved that about it, and
mm.
I really enjoyed you know all of her acting before this, but this was just glorious.
And also as well the creepiness of the Salem 7.
Yeah.
um, was sort of chasing them down their road trip.
Hmm.
Really creepy, ghostly witches.
Very, very cool. And yep.
Uh, but any standout moments? What you want to talk about?
I loved how at the end it was kind of a noble sacrifice,
Yeah,
and at the end, you know, all the other ones had their moment, but Jennifer was just like, I'm not going into the good night, and she
yeah.
crawled up out of the she it was, you know, it was like crawling up out of the dirt and emerging even more glorious. You know, that's she's gonna be such a cool addition to whatever comes next. However, they're gonna use that caboose episode. You know, I'm gonna
It's,
call it the caboose episode so that they can hook another train to it.
yeah. What was their character's name? Oh, come to me. No, that's there were, Mrs. Was it Mrs. Hart? The one who,
The who was the cooking one? Yeah,
yeah. I mean, she wasn't a witch, was she, Mrs. Hart? But she was
she
Agatha dragged her along just to make up the numbers. And
right, and the
I felt sorry for
the
her because
right,
she she was dragged along, and she was the first one to be killed. Um,
right.
I thought, well, what a poor, sad character that. She didn't know what was happening. You know,
But she at the end, like that whole thing with like the fact that anyone can do magic.
mm,
That was the lesson with Mrs. Hart, was that anybody can do magic.
all right.
Not everybody's a witch, but anybody can do magic. So that was that, and that was why, you know the Doctor Strange storyline is all about like, these are super exceptional people. Nobody's ever gonna be as cool as these guys. And then, you know, Agatha All Along, it's like anybody can do magic. Any group of friends could become something really a lot more powerful.
Yeah.
And like it's just a lot more. It's just a lot more. You and your friends in your neighborhood could become something really, really amazing if you teamed up together
Mm,
to deal with like the whole like, it is a really like sort of mirror image of the the Sorcerer Supreme and Doctor Strange and all that, because they're kids. There's just practical magic stuff, and then there's this whole other reality that they and the way the road had like a lot of the same um things that happen on the Wizard of Oz, and the same things that happen on other Disney movies, like the trees that grab you, the attack of the plant life is really what that is. That was pretty cool. and you know,
I mean, it was a cool, it is a cool TV show. Um,
yeah.
they've left it open at the end of episode 9 as they venture out to find Agatha's son. Um, but I don't know if there's going to be a second season. No, nothing's been mentioned. So I don't know if that's
No,
just. I don't know if that's just how they're going to end it there. And but nothing. Usually these shows they get announced, don't they? That it's been green lit for a second season or whatever, but not this one. So we'll have to wait and see on that.
yeah,
I know you'd want a second series, wouldn't you?
yeah. I would. I would really love a second series. I would love to um see more of this group of witches and more of the how Agatha really helps instead of hinders, and empowers instead of disempowers. I mean, like those are the that's where this you know that's the road less traveled by, and the
Yeah.
wood. And I also, the whole Richard's Road thing was sort of like a Robert Frost poem, and it was also like the song was sort of like a spiritual song. It was captivating
Mm.
and soul engaging. That was
You,
fun too.
you could believe it was an enchanted chant.
Yeah, yeah. More than just like a
Yeah.
folk song or whatever.
Yeah.
It really could. Yeah, exactly, Lee. Exactly. That's what it was.
So we just have to wait and see now if a
Crossing
second
my fingers and my toes here.
season is going to be announced or not. That's it's just time
Yeah.
will tell. If we
Yeah,
do
and
roll,
and if Vision, one of the visions, or one of the Wandas, or one of the, just all of those people come in. I mean, there are some OPs, overpowered people like that. I just, you know, but still, it was fun to see that that those creative forces, and let me see. I It was directed by I think two women and one man. If Jack Schaefer is a man, I don't know.
who knows these days?
Yeah, and oh yeah, and the other, yeah, with that, there's a lot of joy this week because this is National Trans Awareness Week, and it's something, yeah.
Cool.
And it was they say that it was written by Kirby and Lee, and also by a bunch of story editors.
Mm.
It could have been Jim Starlin created the Death character. Death, that was fun too. I loved it. I love it when Terry Pratchett brings Death into it, and I love where that was a fun addition.
Always it's that the Green Witch is always an embodiment of death, isn't it? That character is green or jade.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's happened in other pieces of literature and TV shows. That colour
Yeah.
associated with it. Yeah. Weird.
And then the there's so many producers who are women, and and of course Kevin Feige. Kevin
Mm,
Feige has produced. He produced Deadpool and Wolverine, and he executive produced Agatha All Along. And I have to say, I am becoming deeply committed to seeing uh, everything that Kevin Feige ever does, because he's. And I sure do wish that they would let him do a Star Wars now that he's proven how
mm,
actually nuanced he is with these things, and how he's willing to use practical effects as well as practical magic. Oh my gosh,
no, it's real magic.
I know.
You know, it's not. It's not all made up. You know, it's real magic.
Yeah. Yes.
Anything else you want to say before we call
Oh,
this time?
Kevin, we're gonna have to watch everything about your production anyway. Yeah. No, that we've talked a lot, and I mean, I enjoyed so much of this. I loved how it started in Salem, which is just up the road from us
Mm,
here. It's another small city in Massachusetts, and in the historical witch trials and witchcraft events, there was a lot of it up in a place called, what was it, Salem's Kitchen or Salem's Meadow or something, and that became Danvers.
Salem's Lot.
No, Salem's Lot. It was considered like right across the border from Salem in Maine.
Mm.
So there was
What?
like,
That's Stephen
yeah,
King
it
for
was it. Yeah, it has to be Maine if it's Stephen
yeah.
King. He doesn't do much in Massachusetts.
You don't travel
But
well.
anyway, yeah,
So what would your final say score be then?
10, uh, 10 of the Coven members out of 10. I just think that was great. And yeah, and the strength of the characters were awesome, and superheroes on one side OP, but these were sort of normal powered witches, but having so much fun. And what about you, Lee? What do you think? What were your scores?
Um, it was a fun watch. As I said before, it was an odd numbered episodes for me. It did feel like it was an add-on. Um, I did tire of the tasks.
Oh,
There could
okay.
have been two less tasks in it, because it seemed to drag on a bit. So, but I did like the performances. The song was amazing. So, due to those few little niggles, um, I'm going to give this 8.5 broomsticks out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still, I enjoyed it though, but it was just felt, I don't know, with the episode 9, I thought, well, why this episode? Why didn't you just end it at episode 8? And I don't know. But we'll see if there's a second season, won't we? And so yeah, that's 8.5. It's a good score from me. That
Yeah,
Susan well knows that I can go very low on
but but
certain things.
the differing opinions mean different scores too, and that's what Geeks
It's not,
Assembled is good for. We do not always agree.
and it's would it be boring if it was 10 out of 10s every week?
Yeah, wouldn't it be boring?
Yeah. So yeah, so that's our little discussion of Agatha All
Wait a
Along.
minute, were you calling me boring because I just did two 10 out of 10s this week?
Who,
Oh,
me? Never. Me? No, no, no,
uh-uh.
no. I'm a nice person.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so if you've seen it, let us know what you think of this TV series. Leave a
Yeah,
message,
please
leave a
do.
message below in the comments. This video is shared widely across the social media, so you'll find us. Just leave a comment below on the video. Let us know what you thought of it. Also, if you want to join us, leave a message in the comments, and we'll try and get you on 18 plus, of course, because of certain things what we watch and discuss. So yeah, you've got 18 plus, have a working camera and microphone on your device, and
Like this week we reviewed Deadpool and Wolverine, and that was quite 18 plus.
yes, violence and language and gore. So yeah, so we've got to have a age limit on certain things on the cast just to be safe. So that's why we
Yeah.
asked that. And also, if you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, please press the bell notification button. That's all you need to do. Bang, and you'll get notified every time we put up a video. Is that it? Everything now, Susan?
That's everything.
So now I think I'm gonna take my shoes off and I'm gonna walk down the Witches Road.
Oh.
So, because I need to get out more. Well, what was that? Did I hear a song stand? Witches round. So until next time, guys, please be safe and beware of those witches, those covens.